Oh, look. Bye.
Chris, we're live. I didn't get a countdown. Are y'all there? Am I live? I don't even know if I'm live. Am I live? Wait, where's the comments? I am live. Am I live? Okay, I'm live. So I was just telling Chris, there is a price to pay being a content creator. Okay. So I told you guys I'll just give you a little rough estimate. So if you ever want to be a content creator, you know what all is involved. But I'm going to look at it to make sure that I don't get my numbers wrong. What am I doing? Settings. Okay. I pay $88 a month for StreamYard. I pay $200 a month for ChatGPT to help me with my thumbnails and stuff. I pay $100 a year for Adobe to create my thumbnails because you have to have something to create them. I pay $50 a month now to be verified. It is expensive, and so I think what's happened is when I got put in Facebook jail, I think I quit paying for StreamYard because I was like, I'm not paying $88 a month to go live on Facebook and YouTube and then them put me in jail over a picture of me going to a hotel with my husband saying I left it all. Like, did I really leave all my animals? I'm not, it was just silly. And so I think I canceled the subscription because it's not on here. Well, therefore, if you cancel your subscription with StreamYard, they take away all your benefits. But these are the benefits that are for free. They only give me Thanksgiving. I realize it's not Thanksgiving, but I wanted to show y'all that I can add this for free. But if I want to go live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time, it costs me $88. If I want to do the 30-second countdown, apparently it costs me $88. So I don't know if I should just like, I don't know. Okay, with that being said, here's a new board, even though it's not Thanksgiving. All right, I am going to take off my glasses and become blind, so I cannot read your comments. So the comments are here for you. The comments are here to chit chat because it's important for y'all to grow relationships, but I want to tell you something. I want you to listen to me. Every single one of you that are here all the time. I need you to listen to me. Okay? You got me? Even though the same people show up every single morning, okay? Like you recognize names and you talk to people. We still don't know each other, meaning we don't know each other in person. So before you decide, can I just throw two names out there? When I say these two names, it's because I feel like they'll let me. But let's just say Mary and Jane are chit chatting every single morning, and she loves Mary to death, and Mary loves Jane to death. And then all of a sudden they say, hey, let's meet for lunch. Don't do that. Okay? Um, be mindful that I know that you become friends with people on social media, but that can be dangerous. Okay? Just I'm not saying that I don't want y'all to be friends and talk. I I just want you to be mindful that not everyone that comes to social media comes for the right reasons. And sometimes people come to social media for friendships, but not everyone is like you. Not everyone is like me. Okay. So I need you to be mindful that I do want you to chit chat, but it's just it's not so safe to meet in person, even though you talk to them every day. Now, maybe in a group setting, but anyway, I'm not going to elaborate. I just want you to be careful. I care about your well being, and I care about each individual one of you that come here. I care about everybody on the replay, and I just want you to be careful. With that being said, I need to say something else before I get started. So, when you become a YouTuber and you start getting a following, people send you free products for you to do a review. Okay. And this company said, Judy, can I send you some free chargers and you do a review? And I said, absolutely. Well, I was going to put it in my video on Tuesday, but Larry fell and everything just got crazy and I didn't get to do it. So today I want to do a review in person. They sent me this, okay? It is a charger. It has 3 different chargers on it. Am I blurry or is it my eyes? I'm not sure. Anyway, it has 3 different chargers on. A backup dancer back when, I'm pretty sure it was when Skipper was born, I was going live and I was losing my battery. And a backup dancer sent me this. This is a battery pack. It plugs into the wall. Am I blurry? Are my eyes jacked up? Oh, my eyes are jacked up. Okay, so this plugs into the wall. The cool thing is it has different chargers on the side. So and what's cool about this is once you charge it, it never loses a charge. Like you can charge this to 100% and go put it in your drawer for 6 months. And when you open up the drawer, it's 100%. So this is good. Okay. And I think she got it off Amazon, but it has this. This is the downfall to this. I love this. I use this all the time because when you are a content creator, you lose your battery all the time. But this is the problem. Okay. When I plug this into my phone, like, okay. When I plug this into my phone, see it's charging right now. I have to do this. Or I have to do, so if you could imagine if I was live right now, this is heavy. So wait a minute. I have to do, like if I'm talking on the phone, I have to do this. And it's heavy. So if I was going live and Skipper was being born, I have to hold this the whole time and be still. And it's hard. Well, okay. So they sent me this. And I think I've died and gone to heaven because let me show you what it does. Okay, so I plug it in. Look, wait a minute. See, it's retractable. So then this has a USB at the bottom. So I plug it into the USB. I plug my phone. Now this heavy thing goes in my pocket and this goes like this. And I'm not carrying it around, breaking my hand trying to go live or, if you're in the store or whatever, this can go in your pocket. So I do recommend these. They come in different colors. I am going to put the link in the description when this is over. But isn't it cool? This has been a lifesaver to me. And I told the guy, I'm like, I will definitely do a review because I love it. It's perfect. Anyway, okay. With that being said, I'll put the link in the description. All right. It's time to get this party started. I felt something go down my throat. What's in my drink? I'm not sure. Today, y'all saw in my Saturday video that I've had to make the choice to put Larry in a nursing home. And it has been so difficult. If you've been following me for a while, you know that 2 years ago, I put Larry in a nursing home. And I've never done this in my life, so I'm learning, okay? But I put him in the nursing home, and I had to pay with his money, not my money. I had to pay out of pocket every month for 4 months, okay? So I'm going to be specific with y'all so that you understand, okay? I want to say he had like $65,000 in his savings account, and I want to say $20,000 in his checking account. So $80,000 that Larry had. Also, he has property that was my grandparents'. My mother and him inherited it when they got married. And so when you put a loved one in the nursing home, you have to deplenish all their money. So in other words, when I put him in the nursing home, I had to pay out of pocket because Medicaid won't pay until you're dead broke. So in this nursing home, it was $10,500 a month. Well, when I put him in the nursing home, they said, we're going to take his life insurance and you need to get him down less than $2,000 before we can apply for Medicaid. And on his property, it's Larry, me, and my 2 brothers. And it is joint. It's not like, so when the nursing home was talking to me, they didn't talk to me about the land first. They just told me I had to deplete his money because they didn't ask me about the land. And so the first thing that I had to do, I said, wait a minute, you're taking his life insurance? Well, then I got to go pay for his funeral because we haven't done that yet. And so they said, you need to go right now and pay for his funeral. So I literally left the nursing home and went to the funeral home. That was depressing. And his funeral was about, and I bought the basics, okay? I bought, and there was 2 choices. You can do a burial where you get cremation, or you can do, not cremation, yeah. No, wait. You can get cremation, or you can do a burial where you have a viewing and all that stuff. I went to Larry and I said, because the cremation was $1,500. A funeral was $15,000. Well, I respect Larry and wanted to do what he wanted. So I said, Larry, these are your options. What do you want me to do? And he said, I don't want to be cremated. Okay. So I went to the funeral home and I paid out of Larry's money $15,000 for the funeral. Well, Medicaid can't take that. Then I said, Larry has a car and we have a car payment. And they were like, you need to go pay off the car before you deplenish all the money. So y'all know that whole story. But I went and paid off his car. I paid for the funeral. So that was $35,000. Okay. So then I pay for him. I can't remember if he was in the nursing home. I think he was in there 3 months, I think, or 4 months. And so when we got down to where there was no money, I thought we were going to apply for Medicaid. And so they asked me about the property. And I began to tell them that it was in my brother's names and my name and Larry's name. And they said, well, you have to sell the property because Medicaid won't approve him until you sell the property. Well, I would love to tell you that that was an easy task for me, but it was a nightmare. And I'll tell you why. I'm just going to be blunt, which I've told you this before, so it's nothing new. I have a brother that has been on meth for 8 years, that is in and out of jail constantly. I had to go hire a lawyer to draw up a power of attorney for me to sign for him. I had to pay for the lawyer to go into the jail cell and ask my brother to let me sign so that we could sell the property to get Larry help. And my brother refused. So I waited 6 months. He's been in jail the whole time. My brother was in jail for, I think, 10 months. So I hired the lawyer again because I thought, okay, well, he's been sitting drug-free for 6 months in jail, so maybe he's got a clearer understanding that Larry needs help. So I hired the lawyer to go back into the jail cell to talk to my brother and say, hey, your stepdad needs help. And my brother said, I'm not signing anything. So I was sitting here with my hands tied behind my back, and Larry couldn't get help. And I felt all alone because it was like I felt like nobody cared, because like I looked around at my other family and everybody was just living their life. And then I was over here watching Larry decline, watching Larry on hospice. And I was like, does anybody care? Does anybody in this family care about me and Larry? And I felt like the answer was no. I did. And I have felt that way for a long time. Well, things have gotten worse. Larry fell on Tuesday. It's, without just going into total detail, it's been awful, okay? It's been hell. And I try every day to get up and dance. Every morning, the first thing that I do is check the camera because I would sleep through a tornado. So the first thing that I do in the mornings is look at the camera to make sure Larry's okay. And most of the time, Larry's up walking around. Larry's making coffee at 2 o'clock in the morning. Larry's doing word searches at 3 a.m. I mean, and I sit here and get frustrated because I was like, can someone please help me? And as I sit on the couch, almost in tears every morning, I'm like, I got to get help. I have no tool in my pocket to pull out to deal with this crap. I can't. Does anybody care? I'm trying to do Sneed's Farmhouse. I already fight depression. And I feel all alone because everyone gets up and goes to work, or everyone's dealing with their own families. And then there's me. facing this every single day. Well, my brother got out of jail. I have texted I don't know how many times. I have tried to call him I don't know how many times. I called my nephew and said, "Do you think I could get my brother to sit down with me and talk to me?" Now, you got to keep in mind that my brother has not seen Larry in 8 years. So, needless to say, the answer kept being no. No, I'm not talking to her. I hate her. Blah, 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 whatever. So I felt stuck. So I called the lawyer that did the deed to put all of our names in it. And I said, is there any way I can sell Larry's portion of the property without my brother's signature? And she said, you should be able to. So she said, let me go talk to the other lawyers to see if I'm right. So she called me back and she said, the other lawyers are saying that you should be able to buy out the property. Well, do you know what that means? That means Judy and Shane have to pay $45,000 out of our pocket. And yes, we own Larry's portion of the property, but then Shane and I are out $45,000 until my brother decides to sign the paperwork or dies. Just so he can get Larry help. Very frustrating. And Shane was like, Judy, we can't do this. We cannot be tied up in this property that your brother has rights to. We cannot. Because then we can own half the property because I got my portion and got Larry's portion. I'm out $45,000 and my brother could go pop up a camper out there. And Shane was like, we can't do this, Judy. So I called the nursing home here in Coleman where Larry goes to respite. And I said, I need help and I don't know what to do, but I have him declining and I don't know if I can continue to do this. I'm not well mentally. I don't know what to do. I'm going to counseling and I'm not well. She said, I want you to call this lawyer in Coleman. And he's a Medicaid lawyer. I said, okay. So on Tuesday of last week, I went and met with a lawyer and I said, I need help. I'm stuck. I can't get Larry help because of my brother. And he goes, let me see the deed. So I began to show him the deed and he goes, Judy, this is right of survivalship. What does that mean? And he goes, this is the deal. If Medicaid put a lien against Larry's portion of the property and y'all never sell it because no one's going to want to buy a fourth of the property, when Larry dies, Larry doesn't own the property. It's right of survivalship, and you and your brothers own the property. So Medicaid cannot put a lien against this property. And I was like, and then he goes, they're not going to take his life insurance. I've been told 45 different things now. So I called the nursing home. I met with them. And this is not the same nursing home that told me. The nursing home did tell me that I would have to buy Larry out. But where I went wrong and the nursing home went wrong was they did not look at the deed. Everyone was telling me what to do, but no one looked at the deed. And the deed is right of survivalship, which means they cannot take the property. So she said, you have to deplete all Larry's money because, the money over the past 2 years has acquired back up. And she said, you're going to have to get his account down, and then we can apply for Medicaid. And I was like, what do I do? I've never done this, so what do I do? And she's like, he's going to go, we'll put him in the nursing home in December, and we'll file for Medicaid. But you got to go spend his money down to $2,000 before Monday. What am I going to buy? And she said, you have to show receipts. This has to be for him. But you need to go buy clothes. You need to go buy snacks. You need to go buy anything that he wants for the nursing home. But you have to keep the receipts and show that you have spent this money on Larry. She said, let me explain to you what's about to happen, because you need to know. Medicaid is going to treat you as if you're a criminal. As if it is not enough to put your loved one in the nursing home. But no, Medicaid has to treat you like you're a criminal. Now, they've not done that to me yet. So I had on Tuesday afternoon, he fell. I was supposed to go live Wednesday morning. I had to be in Aniana, which is an hour away, early that morning to go get all his bank statements for the past 6 months. They go back 5 years. A lot of people say 7. They're going back 5 years to look at every dime that has been spent. And Judy gets to say where every dime is spent that they have questions about. Keep in mind, 5 years ago, Larry was going home by himself. I didn't even do his checking account. And I get to be the one to figure, let's just say there's a $2,000 charge out there. Okay. 5 years ago, I have to figure out where it was spent and show a receipt. It feels scary because a lot of it I'm not going to know. And I don't know what's going to happen. Well, in order to apply for Medicaid, the patient has to be in the nursing home. And I'm like, so I could go through all this and then they say, no, he's not approved? Yes. When I tell you this nursing home and Medicaid bullcrap is bullcrap, it is the saddest thing I have ever seen in my life for the patient and the family. I sit here and think about the way things are, and I'm like, where did all this come from? Is this from our president? Is this like why does it have to be this way? Why does it have to be this stressful? It's heartbreaking enough to watch your loved one die. But it is what it is. I get to do this the next couple of months. So I went and turned all the receipts in that I had, and we've started the process. And I had to spend $800 before Monday on stuff for Larry. So I bought clothes, I bought shoes, I bought pajamas, I bought snacks, I bought drinks, I bought everything I knew to do. But I had to spend this money, and it felt stressful because I felt like I was blowing a bunch of money. Like, how you're used to not blowing $800, maybe buying a couple of sweatsuits at a time. Well, I had to buy $400 worth. Okay. So I felt depressed spending Larry's money. It felt as though I wasn't making wise choices. It didn't feel good. Well, in the meantime, I have to tell Larry. And what happened was on Monday, the people, okay, so anytime someone goes into the nursing home for, where's my eyeshadow? Anytime someone goes into the nursing home, whether it be for respite or physical therapy, or there it is. No, that ain't it. The heck? Oh, there it is. That ain't it. Oh, it's in my lap. God, crazy. So anytime someone goes into the nursing home, whether it be for respite, physical therapy, or full time, you have to have a chest x-ray. Well, they called me on Monday and said, we'll be there in 10 minutes to do his chest x-ray. And I was like, wait, because I haven't told Larry yet. I said, you can't come, because Larry knows when he comes to get a chest x-ray, Larry knows he's going to the nursing home because we've been doing this the past 6 months for respite. I said, you're going to have to give me a chance to tell him. And they were like, well, can we come tomorrow? And I was like, yes. So I had to tell Larry Monday. So I go in there and I said, I'm not doing well. He said, what's wrong? I said, I'm having a hard time trying to make sure you don't fall. You have your medicine. You have your food. I have hospice here every day. And I am trying to balance work, Sneed's Farmhouse, and you, and I'm having a hard time. And I need help. And I said, you're not getting better. You keep declining because you're sitting in your room and laying in your bed. And I don't know what to do. You've refused physical therapy, and I don't know what to do. I can't make you get up and want to do anything. I can't. I've tried. I've cried. I pleaded. I've had, talks with you. I'm the biggest cheerleader. I can try to make people dance all day long. But at the end of the day, I can't make you do it. I can't make you eat right. I can't make you get out and exercise. I can't make you wear your oxygen. I can't force you to take your medicine unless I crush it up in your food. I can't make you dance. All I can do is encourage you, and I need help. So Monday, you're going to go into the nursing home so I can get help and you can get help. He didn't say anything. And I thought, well, he handled this pretty good. So then I walked into the living room, and Larry is deaf. Larry does not hear well at all. So you know what I get to hear? I'm sitting in the living room, and I'm thinking, wow, he took that really well. And I hear, I knew she was going to do this to me. I knew it. I had that feeling she was going to do this to me. And I'm late. I'm sitting in the couch going, wow, this feels great. This feels so good inside. She doesn't love me. I knew she didn't love me. And I'm going, really? And I'm bawling my eyes out because I'm listening to all this. But as I was listening to all of this, crying my eyes out, feeling guilty, I was like, what do I need to do to take care of myself? How do I get myself to dance in this hell that I'm in? And I was like, God's honor, I will not cry. I said to myself, the things that he is saying, is this true? So the first thing I did was check the facts. And that's not true. I do love him. If I didn't love him, I wouldn't be doing what I'd just let him fall. I wouldn't even put him on hospice. I'd let him just sit in his room. So I checked the facts. That's the tool I pull out of my pocket to go, okay, Judy, is what he's saying the truth? No, it's not the truth. So once I was able to check the facts, I was like, okay, it's going to be okay. I got to get through this. And I had a week to go. This was last Monday. Today's Monday. So then I was like, okay, I need to remove myself from the situation, because as I got into Larry, I needed to get in Larry's shoes for a minute. Because anytime you're trying to dance or you're in an altercation with somebody, you got to get in their shoes to see how they feel. And I was like, can you imagine how Larry feels? Larry has autism. Larry depends on me for everything, always has. He doesn't talk to nobody else. He doesn't trust nobody. He only trusts me. And he feels like I've let him down. I can only imagine what it feels like for your child to put you in the nursing home. It's got to be painful. And then I started thinking about the fact he's lost everything. He's lost all his money. He's lost his property. He's lost his cars. He's lost everything. And now he's going to be put in a facility where he has to depend on Medicaid. And I thought, this sucks for Larry. I can only imagine, because every single one of us, more than likely, I'm not going to say more than likely, every single one of us here today is going to have to go through what Larry is going through. Declining, getting sick, the last stages of life, we may have to go to a nursing home. We're going to have to deal with somebody else taking care of us. And I thought, God, I dread this. And they say, grow old gracefully. How the heck do you grow old gracefully when you're faced with bull crap? I'm thinking, this is horrible for Larry. And so then when I was able to get in his shoes, I was like, okay, so now how do I comfort him? How do I let him know I'm not leaving him? Because he kept saying I was leaving him. How do I let him know that I do love him? So I called him into the living room. I said, I want to talk to you. And this is what I did for my own self. I recorded our conversation so that I could go back and listen to it when I feel sad. And the first question I asked him, I said, what are you afraid of? What is your biggest fear about going to the nursing home full time? And you know what he said? His TV. I said, so your biggest fear is your TV? Yes. I said, what about your TV? What about your TV is giving you anxiety? And he said, I don't want to turn it off. And to me and you were like, that's your biggest fear? Your biggest fear is that you don't want to turn your TV off. And I sat there and I was like, why is this TV so important to be on 24/7? So you know what I did? I chat GPT'd it. And I said, what causes someone to have anxiety when the TV is off? And it said, people that have severe anxiety find comfort in hearing sound. And I was like, okay, that makes absolutely no sense to me. But I will be honest with you, nothing makes sense to me with Larry. Nothing that he does makes sense to me. It is the craziest thing you've ever, like, for someone that's a caregiver to someone like Larry, nothing makes sense. Because I was sitting there thinking, your biggest fear is that you're going to have to turn your TV off. So I said to him, I said, well, Larry, I said, when you live with someone like me or having a roommate at a nursing home, I said, when you live with someone, you have to be mindful of their routine. I said, like, for example, you live with me and Shane. Well, Shane has to get up at 5 o'clock every morning and go to work. So he needs a good night's sleep. So when you keep your TV on all night long, you have to be mindful that Shane has to go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't say this, but I thought it's not all about you. When you choose to live with someone, and Larry chose to live with us, okay? It wasn't like he needed to live with us. Larry chose to live with us. And when you are with someone, you have to be mindful and respect the people around you. Not everyone likes the same things you like. And I said, you're going to be in the room with someone, and you've got to understand that the average person doesn't leave their TV on all night long. I mean, there are people that do. I'm not saying that people don't do that. But people that go to work every day probably they probably like to be in the dark or have a nightlight on because they have to get up and go to the bathroom. But no one leaves the lamp on and the TV on like you. So you have to be mindful that there's a roommate in there and you're going to have to turn the light off and turn the TV off. And I said, unfortunately, you've gotten into some bad habits because leaving the light on all night long is not good for you. It's not healthy. And I thought in my head, I'm sitting here trying to reason with someone. I'm trying to get him to make good choices, and I can't. No matter how much I pump him up, no matter how many times I try to reason with him, I can't force him to do anything. I've tried over the past 8 years. I've tried to get him, I've set him down. Hang on. I've sat him down and I have talked about balance with him, just like I talk about you. I said, Larry, in order to be balanced, you've got to be mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically in balance. You got to drink water, because he wouldn't drink water at all. I said, you have to exercise. You have to be mobile. You have to do physical therapy when you have cancer, doing radiation when the doctor's recommending it. If not, you're going to fall. And if you fall, you're going to end up being bedridden, because you can't have surgery of your hip because you're too old and your health is too bad. You've got to take care of yourself. No matter how many times I tell him that, it goes into one ear and out the other. No matter how many times I tell him, your strength comes from God. It comes from having a personal relationship with God. Life is hard. I am a cheer. Y'all know. Y'all hear every morning, every Monday and Wednesday. I'm trying to teach him to put tools in his pocket, and it's going in one ear and out the other. And I realized, as I was sitting there asking him, what are you scared of? I'm scared that I'll have to turn my TV off. I thought, no matter what I say, I can't force him to make good decisions, or to know that it's going to be okay. I can't make him feel okay, no matter what I say. And so, as we were sitting there talking, my next question that I asked him was, what else are you worried about? You don't love me? I feel like knocking my head against the wall. I have literally taken care of you and worked at Sneed's Farmhouse for 6 years here, 2 years in Stapleton. I have cooked for you. I have cleaned for you. I have cleaned up after you. I have taken care of your bills the past 2 years. I have done everything I know to do. I can't make you feel like I love you. You have to know it in your heart. Well, I don't feel like you love me. And I thought, no matter how many times I tell him I love him, no matter how many times I show him I love him, I can't make him believe it. I can't help him dance. This weekend, I made him cupcakes. He didn't eat one. He wanted a turkey for Thanksgiving. Shane and I were going to his mom's. I brought him a whole plate of leftovers for Thanksgiving. He wouldn't eat it. My brother fried a turkey, a big old turkey for Larry, because Larry wanted turkey sandwiches. I bet he ate 2 turkey sandwiches. And that is it. And what I realized is Larry can't see what's going on around him, because he's caught up in his own world of Larry. And I thought, how many times do I do that? How many times am I sitting here going, I feel all alone. No one cares. No one sees what I'm going through. I'm the only one going through Medicaid. I'm the one that has to get in the car and take him to the nursing home and feel like bullcrap. I'm the one that has to feel guilty. Nobody else is. I feel just like Larry majority of the time. I feel like no one loves me. I feel like no one cares. I feel like I'm in this all alone. And as I sat there and listened to Larry tell me that I don't love him, I thought, well, that's the furthest thing from the truth. But I'm just like Larry. feel all alone. But I'm not. I'm not. This new thing that Larry's doing this week is he keeps kissing me. Like I'm in the kitchen cooking dinner, and he's walking into the kitchen kissing me, telling me he loves me every 5 minutes. When someone does something repetitively like that, the tool that I have to pull out of my pocket is, what is he trying to tell me? I bet he has kissed me 45 times in one day. You just don't know. You don't understand. You don't understand how much I love you. And I'm like, what is he trying to tell me? And Shane said, I know what he's trying to tell you. What is he telling? What is he trying to tell me? I mean, I do know he loves me, but it's almost like he's telling me out of desperation, because he's lived with me 8 years and he's never told me he's loved me 45 times in a day and kisses me. Larry's never kissed me. He keeps kissing me. And it makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm like, does he think I'm my mom? Because he doesn't just say, I love you. He said, you don't understand. I'm in love with you. You don't understand. And I'm like, why is he saying, like, why is he telling me he's in love with me? I'm like, because I do look like my mom. And I'm like, does he think I'm my mom? But Shane said, I know what he's trying to tell you. He's acting like a little child. And he's hoping that you'll change your mind. And I'm going to tell you, I believe Shane's right. I mean, I know Larry loves me, but Larry has the personality, and he plays mind games like a child. And I don't know if that's the dementia. I don't know if it's autism. I don't know what causes that. Today's going to be hard. Today, I got to go live. I'm live now, right? I've got to go do animals. I have to go to the hormone doctor at 10 o'clock. Hospice will be here at 11:30 to give Larry a bath. I have to take Larry to the nursing home. And then I go for my 3-month cancer checkup for skin cancer for melanoma today at, I don't know, 2 o'clock, I think. So I have a full day ahead of me. And where I can't teach Larry to dance, sometimes it's hard to teach me to dance. Sometimes I'm just like, I feel sorry for myself, and I have a hard time going, Judy, you got to get your dancing shoes on. So when I do that, I have to look at my surroundings and going, what is going on around you? Hell, Hell, double hockey sticks is going on around me. And I'm sitting here trying to keep my head above water. And I'm like, can anybody see? Can anybody see? And I sat here and I was like, what do I need? What am I needing? And I don't know why. And I bet you anybody that has kids that don't live at home anymore, that have their own lives, feel just like me. I'm like, I just want my children. It's like, gosh, don't cry, Judy. It's like, does my kids know what I'm going through? But they have their own lives. I mean, they're working a full-time job. Corbin has a baby that's due any day now. They have, they have their own lives. But sometimes you're like, could y'all just stop for a minute? Stop for a minute. Stop your lives and see what I'm going through. But I wonder if that's what Larry's doing to me. Judy, can't you just stop posting on social media, or can't you stop worrying about the backup dancers, and can't you just worry about me? So I sit here today and I think today's going to be hard. Today's going to be hard on me. It's going to be hard on Larry. So what do I need to do to take care of myself? I know in my heart, without a shadow of a doubt, I know I am making the right decision. I know I am. I'm making the right decision for me and Shane and for Larry. And I said to him when I was talking to him, trying to make him feel better, I said, hey, instead of sitting in your room, why don't you go to some activities? I said, what if you met a friend in the nursing home that loved football just as much as you? And y'all were able to football talk all day long. I said, so what are you going to do? Sit in your room? I don't want to talk. And he said to me, I'm different, Judy. I'm happy being by myself in my room. That makes no sense to me. But that's what he does here. He doesn't come out of his room. He doesn't talk to me and Shane. The only way he talks to us is if we go in his room. And I thought, he's not going to do anything different in the nursing home that he does here. It's not like he's going to go and be lonely. That's what he does here. He won't even come to the table and eat with Shane and I. And I said to him, I said, why don't you come to the table and eat with us? Well, I just want to give you and Shane your time. I said, Larry, you have lived with us for 8 years and you've never done this. Why all of a sudden are you wanting to give Shane and I our time? And the 8 years you've lived with me, you've never done this. That's an excuse. Because that's what he wants to do. And I said, well, if you want to go just sit in your room and not socialize with anybody and not meet any friends and go watch football with the guys, I guess you can sit in your room just like you do here. But that's his choice that he's making. And where it makes no sense to me and you, I mean, I sit here and go, you've got Sneed's Farmhouse. People would love Sneed's Farmhouse. People pay good money to come here. You could go every single day and you don't do it. And the 6 years that he has lived with us, I bet he's gone by himself twice. And this is not because he can't walk. He can walk. In the beginning, when he was cutting the grass, but he chose to sit it out. He chose not to go to the farm. But it's so weird because now that he's getting it taken away from him and he's going into the nursing home, will you please take me around the farm one last time? And I thought in my head, I've been trying to get you to go to the farm every single day for the past 6 years. And you've chose to sit it out instead of dancing. I built a porch in my farm for Larry to sit on so he could watch me work and be out there with me. I bet he sat on that porch one time. I bought a side-by-side with heat and air for Larry to be able to get out and go to the farm in the winter and in the summer, and he could sit in the side-by-side and watch the animals. The only way he does it is if I more or less force him. Every now and then, he'll ask me to go. But he chose to sit it out. And I realized that no matter what, we could come here every Monday and Wednesday. And I could talk my ears off and tell you how I got to where I am today. But no matter what I say to you, no matter how many times I tell you what tools I'm pulling out of my pocket to get to where I am today, I can't force you. But I will tell you what I've learned in life is when times are the hardest and you conquer through that is the moment you realize the strength that you have. In other words, if you're on a diet and you're craving sugar, when you don't eat it and push through it is the moment you get stronger and you start dancing. When times get hard and you push through it is the moment you start dancing. When you sit it out, you are missing out on so much. But that choice has to come from you. I can talk Tom Blue in the face, but you have to choose to dance. So today is Monday, and you have a choice. What are you going to do? Are you going to sit it out? Or are you going to dance? And I hope you dance. I will see y'all Wednesday. Bye.